Greetings, vinyl community. I hope everyone is doing well. That seems to be my standard opening, which is getting a bit long in the tooth, as one might say. But in all seriousness, I hope everyone is doing well. It's been a bit since I've seen you last. It's been about a month, which is what I've been averaging lately on video a month. I'm busy. COVID is still affecting my work. Anyways, uh, in all seriousness, I hope everyone is doing well and everyone's been staying away uh, from COVID as much as possible. Like you could forcibly move it, like, stay away, COVID. Anyways, I'm just going to go with this video. Hell or high water, whatever fuck up I make is what I make today. Cheers, everyone. Somehow the coffee never seems old to me. Anyways, it just so happens that the week I filmed this is hot on the heels of two of the best hauls I've had. Well, it was two hauls, same day. Just for ease, I'm going to say it's just for one haul. It just so happens that I've had some of the best hauls in at least a couple years. I'm not sure if that's just luck, pure luck, or persistence, or people are starting to get back to normal life and cleaning out their garage and basements and just realizing and just succumbing to the fact that I want your vinyl. So just donate it already, and I'm coming to get it. So it's been very good, and it's not even just been good for vinyl. And I never really do this, but there's a lot of other things I buy besides vinyl. So thank God for employment. Um, it's not just vinyl. If you go to thrift stores, at least where I'm from, I know people always say that my thrift stores aren't as good as yours, and I'm sorry, but there's a lot of good bargains to be had. CDs are still an ongoing concern, and you can get some of the best CDs ever nowadays. But not just that, is that I've been picking up I've noticed the prices of these have been dropping quite a bit. I'm trying to figure out where the camera is again. I think it's there. I'm going to look there today. I've been finding the prices of these have been dropping like to $2 a pop. So I've been picking a lot of these up. Is a lot of music stuff on video, different formats, which you'll see. But for instance, I'll be quick here. David Bowie's Serious Moonlight Tour, $2. Eric Clapton with Phil Collins on drums. I think that was what was that album, Behind the Sun? Something like that. But I think it was that tour. We had Nathan, what's his name, on bass, and Phil Collins on drums. But what they did is they took that concert and they edited down to like the best 7 songs on this DVD. But $2, I'll take it. I was very excited to find this as the Jane's Addiction movie that they made, about the band, about their original reunion they did with Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers on bass. So I found that. Found Deep Purple on Blu-ray for $2 live in Montreux. Bruce Springsteen, the complete video anthology. I think this one, because it's 2 or 3 discs, it was $3 still. Joe Bonamassa, live at Red Rocks. A couple Doors, just because it was there. And not just that, there's also coffee. Not just that, but I've been finding some really good laser discs lately. And yes, laser discs for me are still relevant in the sense that there's still stuff out there there's still stuff that have appeared on Laserdisc way back in the day, like way back in the day, that have not really, I've never been on Blu-ray, DVD, etc., or if they have, it's come and gone. Like for instance, on Laserdisc, I found a copy of Neil Young's Weld, which I'm trying to think of a different kind of term for excitement. My nipples got hard. That's horrible, Dave. But anyways, Neil Young's Weld on Laserdisc. A Japanese import copy of the Best of Blondie on Laserdisc, all their videos and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Fleetwood Mac, the Mirage Tour, which has been repackaged for whatever reason under different names and stuff. But This is the original one that was released by the band, the Mirage Tour. This is awesome. This one is like, what, 2 discs, 4 sides of In Excess greatest video hits and other little bits and bobs. And I love In Excess, so I was happy to see that. Bruce Springsteen live unplugged, or plugged, sorry. If you want to know the history of this album, I'm sure Wikipedia will keep you up to speed, but it was, I think, intended to be an unplugged performance, and he wasn't happy how his band was. This was that Human Touch kind of era band, where I think the only constant member was Roy Bittan, sorry, and his wife Patty Scialfa. Anyways, but he did it. Then he ended up doing a full plugged-in version, and there's songs on here that he had never done before, like Light of Day and stuff like that. So I think just for that inclusion, it's well worthy of watching. There you go. So stuff like that. And of course, I've been buying cassettes and 8-tracks and stuff because I can. I know a lot of people don't like those things, but maybe you can make a rebuttal video telling me why you don't like it instead of telling me that you don't like it in the comments. I enjoy your comments, though. Anyways, I'm just a lover of all things that are musical formats or dead formats, etc., 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 as you all know. But let's get right to this. This is going to be stuff I've picked up brand new. That's not really part of the thrift store stuff. I didn't rush out and do a record store day video. I don't really do that anymore. I used to years ago. I don't rush from the store just to be first to make a record store day video. I just, whenever the next time I get to do a video is when I show what I got. But I got, for Record Store Day, I got Joan Jett Live Unplugged, which I think is 8 songs from a forthcoming double album, I think, of acoustic songs of hers. I honestly haven't played it yet, and I'm kind of bi-curious about it, just wondering how she's going to translate to Unplugged. I'm sure it's good or they wouldn't put it out, or decent. I was happy to get this. This was the 2002 studio album by LA Guns, and it's never been on vinyl before. And what's noteworthy about this is the original lineup, who were still making music in 2002 when this kind of metal was dead and buried and gone, and they were still making albums. And this one in particular is as far as that genre goes, it's incredibly good. So it's called Waking the Dead, and was so happy I got the one copy that my store got, that the store I go to anyways, for Record Store Day. They had one and I was first in line. So that's a whole other story that I'm not going to bore you with. I got, of course, I'm so far deep into, I'm so like, I don't even know how to phrase it. I'm so deep into like some of these bands who release Record Store Day albums every Record Store Day, like U2, etc., that I feel like I have to get their stuff now, or the collection's incomplete. It's that obsessiveness and whatever else you want to call it. But I got the 2 David Bowies that came out for Record Store Day, as always. Did I need them? Of course not. The Brilliant Adventures EP. There's nothing really noteworthy on this. There's an early version of I'm Afraid of Americans and a few other things, but it's, yeah, it's what it is. The other Bowie one is here somewhere, because it's on 10-inch and it gets lost. Why 10-inch? I don't know. But I got the Toy EP. And once again, did I need it? No, but I don't think I've shown this. Maybe I did show this, but from his official website, they released this on cassette, the full Toy album on cassette, only through his website, and I did get that. But yeah, I don't know what more I can say about that stuff. This was my, along with the LA Guns, I think, this was my blind buy biggest surprise of something that turned out to be excellent. I bought this just on a whim, on a wing and a prayer. It is the Pete Townsend Face to Face double live album he did for was it Rock Palast, the German music show a lot of you might be familiar with. But he did a concert, and this is on the back of the album he did, called White City, a Novel, which I really liked. I had that song Face to Face, which was kind of cool. What else was on that one? Give Blood? maybe. Anyways, but the cool thing about this is that David Gilmour of Pink Floyd is on this album playing guitar and on this tour. And there's a lot of David Gilmour injected into the live show. He does a few intros you might be familiar with of the Floyd. And it's just, I couldn't believe how good this was. He starts off with Won't Get Fooled Again. And honestly, this was, I think, the last point, I think, where Pete, we're on first name basis now, where Pete was running on, like, he was all guns blazing. He was, I don't know, take the metaphor of your choice or description. I don't think metaphor is correct, but anyways, he was firing on all something. It's blistering and it's awesome, and it's Pete playing electric and David Gilmour, and it's awesome. I think I said awesome already, but I love this one. And if you see us kicking around, because a store has it, and no one's bought it yet, you won't be sorry. I just got this. I'm not sure why. The Alice in Chains, We Die Young EP. I guess there's 3 songs, so I guess I'm not sure if it's EP, if it qualifies as EP status. But that first album, Alice in Chains, I just have fond memories of, for whatever reason. But I'm not a diehard Alice in Chains fan, but that second album era, I think was fantastic, and just for good old memories, I got the We Die Young. It's coming to an end. This is the album, besides the LA Guns and the Pete Townsend, this is the number one thing I lined up for. And I can't even tell you how many hours in advance, but I was first in line and I was able to get one. And you might say my store still has 12, but my store had a couple, and I wasn't going to lose out on this one because it's one of my favorite bands. And it's a band from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Quebecois, Voivod, and their album Angel Rats. And when I heard this was coming out for Records Today, I flipped out because it's the only Voivod of note that I'm missing on vinyl. Everything else I do have. I have an original copy of Nothing Face, and I have all the original albums, like Dimension Hot Ross, etc., etc. But Angel Rat, they're a psychedelic metal fucking masterpiece. And when I ran into that store, the way my store runs is the first couple of people in line get to go. They get a couple of minutes unto themselves to look around, pick up what they want. And when I ran in and got this one, that's my screen cap right there for y'all. Voivod Angel Rat. So happy to get that. I'm gonna blow through the rest of these new albums here because we're gonna get on. We're getting on in time here. The new Rammstein, which is a far better album than their last album, the one with the match on it. In fact, the day before this came out, I went to a record release event at a movie theater here in my city, which was actually pretty nice. I hadn't been into one of those in a long time, but it's not quite, vintage Rammstein. It's as good as it's going to get, and it's a lot better than the last album, so I was happy to get that. This was also released as a 10-inch, which I think is just the regular album. This is a double mastered at 45 RPM, limited edition, for whatever that means. This, I don't know if anyone will even give a shit about this, but a lot of you know one of my favorite bands is Hawkwind. Nick Turner, who was in the original Hawkwind, he's been making a lot of solo albums lately in the last 10 years, and a lot of them have been really good. And he's had a lot of help from a lot of people. This is his newest solo album. What the hell is it even called? I don't remember what it's called. Space Fusion Odyssey. Of course, it has to reference something space, and the album has to be vaguely Hawkwind-ish looking, of course, because they have to market it. It's on Cleopatra Records, or a subsidiary of, and Cleopatra Records are the biggest shysters in the known universe as far as music goes. But God bless them, they put out they shovel his bones into a studio and have him blow his horn 4 or 5 times, and they have studio musicians play spacey music. But on this one is Billy Cobham, the great drummer Billy Cobham, Robbie Krieger of The Doors, Steve Hillage is on it, and there's a lot of people on here that are Chris Poland, ex of Megadeth, people like that. As far as his last 5, let's say, solo albums, this might be a little bit. It's mostly instrumental, which I don't get, but it is, and it's okay. I'll listen to it again, and we'll see if my opinion changes. But I'm just happy to have it. I'm a, a lot of people hate Nick Turner. I met the man. I can vouch to say that he's the salt of the earth. Whatever he did to Dave Brock is between those two. Another one that I was absolutely on the moon about pre-ordering. Didn't think I would get it because it's one of those things that you pre-order and there's that big conglomerate that I pre-order from, thinking that I'm guaranteed to get it, and they've been fucking a lot of people around lately on their release pre-orders. Anyways, a lot of these albums local stores don't really bring in, so I kind of have to rely on something like that or another store. But anyways, that's a whole other video or a whole other topic. But when I got the email notice that this shipped, I was like, because it's Queensryche and it's Mind Crime at the Moor. I never ever thought this would ever come out on vinyl, but it did. It's Operation Live Crime 1 and 2 performed live at the Moore Theater in Seattle, and the encore is a couple classic Queensryche songs. But I was very thrilled to get this album because I have the CD, and it's a really good performance. Really quickly, the new Death Angel, The Bastard Tracks, which was, I think, a film for a live online event, and it's all kind of obscure Death Angel songs, and it's insanely awesome. It's a live album without the crowd participation because I think it was filmed sans crowd, beamed out to you via the interwebs. Death Angel. And the new Soft Cell album, which I'm going to say is their best album since their first album. Take that for what it's worth. And, oh yeah, an old Record Store Day title, which I never thought I'd ever get, but I found a store in the U.S. that had a couple copies left over, is Cinderella's Heartbreak Station album, number 3, after Long Cold Winter and Night Songs. I finally got that on vinyl. Okay, let's get to the thrift store finds, and I'm going to be somewhat quick as to, I'm not sure how many people out there enjoyed the last video, which was over an hour. That's what it was. I have equal amounts to show you, but I'm going to cut it off this time because in the last week and a half, I've picked up, and it's embarrassing to say, 100, I don't know, 75. It's been really good. I'm not saying no to it. Like Echo and the Bunnyman, songs to sing and learn, or learn and sing, which I already have, but how many times do you see this at a thrift store? And it's kind of more or less it's a singles collection, I guess. So that, and then I found, I wish I had them all together. I thought I grouped everything together. When I come across these, I'll reincorporate that one into the other ones I found. Anyways, the Chameleons, Strange Times. In Canada, this was released as a direct-to-metal mastered album with a bonus 12-inch. The very first record fair that I did solo, meaning that I wasn't representing one of my record stores, after I left the business, I still continued doing them. For some reason, I'm not sure how this made it into a bin. It did, and I'm not always at my tables selling at record fairs. I'm usually out shopping, and someone bought this, and had I been there, I would have said this is not for sale because it's one of my favorite albums of the era. And I found it. Finally, I've been looking. I could have gone on eBay. I could have gone on Discogs, but no, the thrill of finding it. 10 years looking, found it. It's a great album. Carcass. I love Carcass, and I found Swan Song. It's got some damage to it here. If you can see that. It's not a punch out. It looks like someone, I don't know, something happened to it. Anyways, someone got high and thought it was food or something, and they were trying to eat it. Anyways, my second favorite Carcass, I think. But this is it's on Earache Records, and I don't know if it's original because I never bothered looking on Discogs. A really good K-Tel compilation, which is metal. It's called White Hot. It's your typical metal of the day. I won't bore you with it, but this is an upgrade copy for me. I love this one. Obviously, I wouldn't have picked it up. Venom. This was released on a label called Wax Maniacs, which a couple years ago, or a few years back, was this really good up-and-coming metal reissue label. And I have a lot of their stuff that came out. And I think, like a lot of these really good reissue labels, I think they just get in deep and they go under. I think they don't realize the actual cost of, maybe they do realize and the sales weren't quite as good as they thought, or take your pick of what reasons they go under. But Wax Maniacs has seemed to, maybe I'm wrong, I just haven't seen any releases, but it looks like they have ceased to operate, like Superfecta, which was another good reissue label years ago. But Venom, Skeletons in the Closet double album. It's just odds and sods. It's Venom. By the way, like the Carcass and the Venom, they weren't $2. They were a few bucks more than that. But I was happy. Okay, I'm going to try to do this really. I'm not going to have to pick and choose here because I don't want to spend an hour. Group Therapy, which is a kind of a psych rock blues band, which I really like the album. What's it? I think is it called 5 Seconds with Group Therapy or something like that. It's either predates this one or it's the one, I can't remember what's the series of their albums, but that one is really good and this one's okay. I was really happy to find this one and it's a keeper for me, but I listened to this morning and it's okay. There's like too many covers on it for some reason. I found two, and I'm not even going to lie here. I'm just going to say this right across the board. Most of these things are just they look untouched. So whoever had these records and donated them. 2 Tom Petty albums, including Hard Promises, which is that Master File series, and Long After Dark, which I already have these albums, but it is what it is. I picked them up. The Illusion, another psych rock band, a little bit heavier. I've always kind of wanted this album, but it's one of those albums I always forgot to pick up because I kind of see it semi-regularly. Finally picked it up. Finally got it. Okay, there's one of those. Okay, here we go. All right, we're going to make this complete now. All right. 3 albums. I think this is the same person who had the Echo and the Bunnymen, which you'll see some other albums pop up coming up here, which you'll know was part of that group of albums someone donated. But I got 3 albums by the band Magazine, which of course is Howard Devoto, ex of Buzzcocks. He was in the original Buzzcocks. But we got An Alternative Use of Soap. We've got Play, and we've got Secondhand Daylight. So 3 Magazine albums. I was kind of happy about that. An original Canadian mono copy of Rubber Soul, which I have to clean the back here. But other than that, it's the best cover I've ever seen. And you can see by the numbering there that it's an original Canadian mono. So I got some work to do cleaning the back of this record, which is not a problem, but this is the one that's going to bump all my other copies to the wayside because this is just a really nice sounding mono copy of it. I don't know who this guy is. This is falling under the banner of kids who buy or who were getting into vinyl, and they must have just decided it wasn't for them, and they donated a lot of these newer records or modern day type records. Because who is this? Khalid. And it's a band it's an album called Free Spirit. I'm aware of it because I've seen it at record stores, and to see these at thrift stores, it's a double record. I just haven't listened to it, and I doubt I ever will. But I picked it up. I'm going to use it for some kind of trade bait at some point. But this one wasn't. This is not a thrift store find. This was given to me by my friend Tom, who I always kind of talk about in my videos, who's the patriarch of music history in my city. For the most part, there's other people, Zook. But Tom is definitely number one in my heart. He gave me this. He said, Dave, you're going to love this record. And I saw who it was, and I kind of like, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck? He said, seriously, you're going to like this album. It's psychedelic-y in places, or in a lot of places, actually, now that I heard it a few times. And I ended up loving this album. And then you'll see what happened coming up. There's a band called MGMT. I thought it was some hipster shit. It could be, but it has enough kind of sounds in it that I love, or I loved growing up, and I still love, that I thought this was a fantastic record. And I shouldn't have doubted Tom, but I did. It's fantastic, Tom, or whoever else is watching this. I can't believe it. And then right after that, a couple days later, someone put this on one of our local, classified buy and sell things, and it was like $10. And I said, I love that one. Maybe I'll love this one too, because this is MGMT called Congratulations, which I'm not familiar enough with the band to know how this sits in their collection. This is album number 2 or 3, but it's not quite as good as the other one, but it's still good. It's still good, and I'm happy because I don't feel like a curmudgeon-y old fuck who I don't like new music, because I seem to like MGMT now. Go figure. I've got a nice copy of Shaft. Nothing more to say about that, but this is a keeper copy for me. A whole lot of records by this band. Flying Burrito Brothers, of course, Graham Parsons, and you know who else is in these bands. But I got Flying Burrito Brothers, Flying Again. This was all in one haul. The Flying Burrito Brothers, Airborne. The Gilded Palace of Sin, which is my favorite one. Close Up the Honky Tonks. I think this is a greatest hits album, 68 to 72, I think it is. Flying Burrito Brothers. I'm not done yet, because Graham Parsons himself, the Flying Burrito Brothers, Sleepless Nights. So someone had a lot of Burrito Brothers they donated. And thank you, sir or madame, because I will give it a good home. What the hell else do I have here? Oh, okay. Next batch here. What else am I going to grab here? I'm going to skip by some shit that I don't know if anyone will care about. 2 copies of Steely Dan's Asia. Why? I don't know. Just because. Jefferson Airplane Takes Off, which was this is the Best Buy mid-price series. So not an original pressing, but it sounds good by me. Is it Dynaflex? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. The best of Van Morrison, well, his first band called Them. You know, they did Gloria and other Them type songs. You guys don't need to see that. Some of the things I have no clue what it is, and maybe if you see it or see this, and maybe you'll know what it is. Let me know. I bought this because it's on Vanguard. Vanguard. In Canada, it's through Phonodisc. There's some guy named Shep, and it's Have You Gone Bald Inside Your Head? I bought it because the title sounded screwed up enough where I might like it. I will let you know. The Plaster Caster Blues Band, I just bought it because it looks like it's something interesting. I'll report back. The Incredible String Band, which I do know and like. I don't have this one, though, and now I do. Two albums by a band that I have never heard of before, and I had to look them up. But these 2 were sitting there for $2.99 or whatever it was. Willie and the Red Rubber Band. One album called Red Rubber Band. I don't know what else. What's this one called? I don't know what it's called. This might be self-titled. And this one's called We're Coming Up. I'm going to guess there's some kind of blues band, white boy blues, which would be blues, psychedelic kind of stuff, maybe, or it could be full of shit. They just look cool. Sometimes you got to follow your gut. A lot of people love this record, and I've never heard it. I mean, a lot of people love this record, where it's kind of in those books of, 1,001 albums you must hear before you die, which is take it for what it's worth. David Crosby, If I Could Only Remember My Name. Never seen this at a thrift store before, so I picked it up to see what all the hubbub was about. And once again, I will report back to you because it's a long weekend. Wherever I happen to be this long weekend, I will have a record player with me, have record player world travel, and I'll give this a spin. Next pile, some dodgy Eric Clapton and Yardbirds comp, or some album on some cheapo UK label, but it had the name Clapton and Yardbirds, and I'm sold. the King of Comedy soundtrack, which is actually a really good soundtrack. I wholly suggest you looking into that. Camel, Mood Madness, which is the different cover that came out in the UK, but I love me some Camel. You guys don't need to know I bought this one. Embarrassing. Elton John, the Tom Bell Sessions. I don't know what this is, but it's Elton John, so I bought it. Elton John Greatest Hits. I finally found a next to mint condition copy of this record, because every copy I find is either played to death, torn to shreds, or something else, but it's unplayable. But this one's minty. Elton John, Empty Sky, with the original cover, which I'm very happy about. This is a UK pressing, I believe. It is a UK pressing on Dick James Music. That's a whole other story about these Elton John albums that have the DJM logo on it from the UK. They're much better sounding than the ones we got. And the soundtrack to Friends, that's Elton John. What else we got here? Okay. For some reason, I found the Temptations Christmas album. Nazareth, Expect No Mercy. I should be adding comment to these, but you guys know these bands. You ready for this one? The Flaming Lips. This is my first ever Flaming Lips album. My friend Tom, once again, is a massive fan, and he said he doesn't even have this record. This is called Telepathic Surgery on blue vinyl. Limited edition vinyl only reissue, and I guess it's their hard rockin' album. I listened to it and I actually liked it a lot. So the only other Flaming Lips I've ever actually heard was it Yoshimi versus the Robots or whatever it's called, which I did like. But this is the first one I've actually ever owned. Found that for a few bucks. Same as this. Miami Vice picture disc. Yeah. There's Tucker and Tucker. I can't remember their names. Crockett and something or other. I don't know what the hell they're called. I actually never watched that show back in the 80s. It was on, I think, Friday nights here. And I was out doing shit. Come on. I'm not staying home on a Friday night watching Miami Vice. Really cool compilation called Beautiful People. And it's United States of America's on it, and the Byrds, and Electric Flag, and Grace Slick, and who else is on it? Just some other people. But yeah, just good compilation. The soundtrack to Earth Girls Are Easy, which I've actually been looking for because it's an amazing lineup on here. It's a Nile Rodgers-led soundtrack. The movie is what it is, but you can look up the track listing. It's an incredibly good soundtrack album, and I highly recommend it. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, let's get to this stuff here. Punk stuff at a thrift store. Canadian punk legends from Hamilton, Ontario. I think they're, or Toronto. Anyways, the Forgotten Rebels. Their album, The Pride and the Disgrace, and it has their big famous song, Surfing on Heroin. I don't know what this is. This is the Vibrators, another favorite punk band of mine. Their album Fifth Amendment, which I've never ever seen before, and I don't know if I even knew this one existed. So the Vibrators on vinyl. This one you guys won't care about. That's a local band. You guys won't care about that. I want to say they're Rezillos, but in this incarnation they're the Revillos. It's the Rezillos. Let's call it that. Their album Rev It Up, as you can see. I've actually not heard this album. I really love the Rezillos' first album. Okay, hang on. That was very unflattering look of it, wasn't it? Bob Dylan, live at Budokan. This actually has the poster in it, and when I unfolded it, you can tell it had never been unfolded. If you don't know, this came with a poster in it, a pretty nice poster of Mr. Dylan. It's actually a really nice poster, and I like the album. A lot of people don't like this album, but I actually like this live album. And the poster in it, I don't know what I'll do with it. It'll just stay in here. But just for completeness sake, it has the poster. Rick James. I wanted a Rick James album to listen to one day, and I realized I don't have any. I used to have some, and I think I sold them. But then I went out and found this one at a thrift store. It's a Greatest Hits album, and I don't know how that works out for fate. It did. I was happy to find this one. Stevie Wonder Original Musicarium Volume 1, which is a greatest hits album and has all the songs I'll probably want to hear on a Saturday night. The Crusaders, Southern Comfort. Some of you might know what this is. Yellow Magic Orchestra. I've showed this album or this band quite a bit, and no one's ever kind of known what I've talked about. Well, that's actually not true. That's kind of insulting to you. I didn't mean to say that. A lot of people have never commented on it, is what I meant to say. Is Japanese electronic band, really influential band for a lot of those early synth pop bands back in the day. And Lord knows I wish I was back in the day. But Yellow Magic Orchestra, I really do like that band. Why? I don't know. It has the hype sticker, and I don't think I've had this on vinyl currently, but it's George Michael's Faith. This is Savoy Brown, which I have street corner talking. I'm trying to finish up this video so I don't take too much of your time, but never had this before either. Parliament Mothership Connection, and I, for the life of me, don't remember how I acquired this in the last few weeks. I wouldn't have paid full price for it, so I'm not sure if this was a thrift store or some kind of collection I bought, and I don't remember now. But it's Parliament, and I'm happy to have it. Joe Perry from Aerosmith and his solo album, Let the Music Do the Talking, back when Steven Tyler and Joe Perry parted ways back in the early 80s. Joe Perry released some solo albums, including this one. And then when Aerosmith got back together and they made that album, Was It Done With Mirrors? They redid the song off here, Let the Music Do the Talking, and that was the first single off that album. And I see how that all comes full circle. Blood Rock 2. I like Blood Rock. White Lion, some 80s metal, big game, which I was kind of really happy to find. And then I realized I have it already. You know, you have too many albums when. This one I'm not showing you, because you guys, someone will know what the sticker is on it. I'm sorry I bought it because I just wanted to buy it. A couple of Roxy Music related items. Roxy Music Avalon, it's an upgrade for me. And a 12-inch, I would never normally buy this kind of stuff. Brian Ferry stuff, I mean, solo stuff. But this has two of my favorite songs he did as a solo artist. This is the 12-inch single for Don't Stop the Dance. But the B-side is a remix of Slave to Love. So it's a win-win for Dave. Oh yeah, speaking of which, and I don't remember where I got this from, but it's Queensryche, Dedicated to Chaos. This might have been from RCP, and I just forgot to show it over the past few months. This was the last album that Queensryche did with the original lineup, Jeff Tate, and it was just railed as one of the worst pieces of shit ever. And I re-listened to it, and it's not as bad as I remember. It's not great, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. So, I mean, it is their worst album, but it's not that bad. But it's Queensryche, and I got to have it on vinyl. Okay? What time are we at here? I'm gonna breeze through these because I want to start fresh next video. Bob Seger, 9 Tonight. Awesome live album. This is once again an upgrade for me. I'm trying to stop saying and here I am. I'm consciously going to these videos saying I'm going to stop saying and here I am saying way too much, so I apologize for that. This is 2 Springsteen albums, which I didn't need in the end, but Ton of Love. Take it for what you want, or your opinion on Ton of Love. It's okay. But The River, a really nice condition copy of The River too. This is an upgrade, and this is just whatever it is. It's okay album. Speaking of Ton of Love, why, I don't know. This is kind of stuff that's going to be trade bait because this is such a nice, pristine condition. I don't need them, but in my city is, of course, classic rock central, so somebody will do me a trade for these. It's Foreigner's first album, and then Foreigner Head Games. No, it's not Head Games. This is Double Vision. Should have known that. A couple Uriah Heeps. These are definitely upgrades for me. This one of the first times I've seen these at thrift stores, because usually they're scratchy shit, almost always. And I found 2 pristine-ish type copies. The Magician's Birthday, of course. And if you're gonna, wow, there's more than this you should own. But anyways, like very humble, very heavy, whatever. Anyways, and Demons and Wizards. Keepers. Oh yeah, another Uriah Heep I found. I found 3. That's right, I found 3 the same day. Return to Fantasy. U2, Unforgettable Fire, which is an upgrade copy for me for, original presses. I have a colored reissue on burgundy vinyl or something like that. Wine vinyl. We're almost done because I'm going to breeze through these. Once again, trade bait for me. I don't need this because I have the vinyl box set for this band. I got the Steven Wilson remixes. I have an autographed copy of this record. It's just, like I said, if I see albums like this and they're just in pristine condition, I just have to buy them. Yes, Fragile. If you don't have this album, man, just come to my house and just take it. I'll give it to you because it's so fucking good. AC/DC, for those about to rock, once again, a really nice condition upgrade for me. Not 1, but 2 copies of Joan Jett's I Love Rock and Roll. And this was 2 copies in 2 days I found. Damn good album, though. So, Supertramp, Crisis, What Crisis? I don't think I have this album, and I haven't had time to look, but I'll look. I don't even know where to start with this album. I'll show it to you, then I'll talk about it next video. There you go. I'll talk about it next video. The Cars. I have the mobile fidelity pressing of this one, so I don't really need this one. Is the self-titled album, first album. And Heartbeat City. I just have this is a nice upgrade for me, Heartbeat City. Nothing to see here. The Police, Synchronicity. Golden Earring cut. Even though I'm a massive Golden Earring fan, this is the album you see everywhere. Beautiful condition copy though, cut. Dire Straits' first album, once again, a nice upgrade for me. What am I not showing you here? Oh yeah, I'll show you all that. All right, coming to the tail end. I say that, and of course, I still got 50 records left. Fuck me, that's heavy. Ow. Schoolie D. Some old rap for ya. Schoolie D. Smoke Some Kill. I never find 80s rap records. I find singles. I never find full albums very often. I've never seen a Schoolie D full album at a thrift store, but the Meat Puppets. That Petrol Emotion. Babble. It's kind of lame if I'm just showing them to you. I should be talking about them, but I'm kind of getting behind the time here. The Friends of Distinction, which I really like this band. But this is a sealed copy of something I already have, but it has a nice hype sticker, and it's sealed. And their album, Whatever. The first Triumph album, which I actually didn't own. Look how slick they look there. Like, one of the worst fucking album covers of all time. I swear to God, this one gets overlooked as the bad album cover list. It's bad. Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow. Nothing special there. This is special. This is the nicest condition copy of Tommy I've ever found in my life. I have 2 copies that were on Decca. This one's an early MCA pressing, and I'm not hung up on labels. This is just beautiful, beautiful copy of Tommy, and this will be my go-to copy now of Tommy. If I could say Tommy one more time. Tommy. Another, once again, just an insanely beautiful copy of Quadrophenia. So this is, Tommy and this are just incredibly nice upgrades for me. I'm so happy to find these ones. Especially since they were like $2.99. The Who, Odds and Sods. And check this one out. I can't believe I found this at a thrift store. Who Are You? But it's the picture disc. Just trust me, it's the picture disc, as you can see. I'll never play it, but it's cool. I don't need to play it because I got nice copies that will sound better than this. This came in this pile there where I found the Forgotten Rebels. Was Buzzcocks Singles Going Steady, original United Artists pressing of that is a heart-stopping moment to find that. Once again, my 20 millionth copy of Brothers in Arms, but this is always in demand, and I mean always. The double album Billy Joel Greatest Hits 1 and 2, something again that seems to be always in demand. We're gonna wrap this up here. Who's excited? Who's excited? Weather Report. I love my Weather Report. You guys don't need to see this one. Blues Brothers soundtrack. Nice upgrade copy for Blues Brothers soundtrack. Billy Joel's Piano Man. I think I made a comment before last time I found this one, is that I went for years and years and years of never finding this record, and it was just, a lot of people asked a lot of money for this at record fairs and stuff, but now I seem to find a copy, 2 or 3 copies a year now. Good album. This will be the first Cat Stevens album that I'm actually considering keeping, not because I loved it, because I figure I should have something in my collection by Cat Stevens. I played this morning, actually, and I didn't mind it, actually. It's Teaser and the Firecat. The reason why I'm keeping it is I listened to a podcast recently that Rick Rubin does, called Broken Record podcast, and they had Cat Stevens on, or Yusuf Islam, whatever his name is now. And it was in celebration of the anniversary of this album, and the way they talked about it and da-da-da-da-da, I thought, well, and I ended up finding this at a thrift store. I'll keep this one. Spirit, The Family That Plays Together. A nice condition copy of that. Really nice original condition copy of BTO Not Fragile in the embossed sleeve. Embossed. Just, a UK kind of cheapo, dusty Springfield collection. It's got Son of a Preacher Man on it, so it's good enough for me. Al Green, Explores Your Mind. Oh, for God's sake, I wish he wouldn't explore my mind. Billy Idol's first album. I just know friends that want this. I have a good story about this record, and I'll tell you this next video. The Days of Future Past by the Moody Blues, that has Nights in White Satin. I will promise myself and you all, I have a story to tell you about this next video. Ready for this, everyone? You know what I'm going to say? Yet another copy of Steve Miller, Fly Like an Eagle. Skylark 2. I've never seen this. The first Skylark album I see every now and again. And there seems to be one of those bands that if you know, you know. They're a really good band. Skylark 2, which I've never had. Another album that I've actually been looking for, and for some reason, I don't know why I've never seen this one, because I wanted the full-length version of Papa Was a Rolling Stone, and I finally found this at a thrift store. Finally, is The Temptations' All Directions. Grammy Award-winning album at the time, but it's got the 11-minute long version of Papa Was a Rolling Stone. Neil Young, Comes a Time. I'm having an avalanche of records in front of me now. Ry Cooder's Jazz, which I've never actually owned myself on vinyl. You don't need to see that one. And we're done. Oh, well, we're done with the stuff that I'm going to show you today. And this is a long video. But you know what? It is what it is. Thank you for watching. I think I set a world record for speed talking there with no script. So I wanted to power through this one and start fresh for next video. Stay tuned for next video. I'll have a story about the Moody Blues, The Days of Future Past. I'll show you the embarrassing albums I didn't want to show you today. I'll have another cup of coffee. And I'll be seeing you. Take care, everyone. Love you all. Stay safe. Take care, everyone.